Hello everybody, and today's video is finally going to be the review of the fully functional 5x5x9 cuboid. So I just finished stickering this. I've turned it, of course, to see the turning and checkerboard pattern and all that kind of stuff, but I haven't actually solved it or scrambled it at all yet, so we're going to end up doing that eventually here. So stickering and assembling this puzzle actually didn't take that long. It's basically just like a 5x5 assembly, except for these three layers here are all one. So what happens is you put them together and then you put them in the puzzle sort of like one piece. And same with all of these and this and this. So in all of these, of course, the middle parts, that's basically a V cube 5. I mean, it's just an extended 5x5. That's all it is. And it's really simple to put together. It took me about 35 minutes to put it together, and it actually took me longer. It took me about 40 minutes to sticker it. So it was very, very easy. The turning at first was really, really hard. And I mean, like, it was catching a lot. Like you can see now, like I can turn this with one finger because I've broken it in. The thing is with puzzles like this, and what I've noticed with Shapeways puzzles, is that they do take time to break in, and that's because the sides of them are just so coarse that they have to be worn down by each other. So the friction that you're hearing, the pieces are getting smoother and smoother. As you can see here, if I can get some light on it, right there you can see these round marks, just like that. And so what it's doing is the pieces are sliding across each other and kind of smoothing the rough parts down. So when you're starting to break in a puzzle like this, it's going to be really stiff, and then you just got to keep going, and it'll all of a sudden it'll get really, really nice. And especially with lubrication, it'll get even nicer. And then one thing I noticed with the Shapeways puzzles too is because you've broken it in this way, you also have to break it in this way. And I've found that on multiple puzzles, like you have to start doing it backwards now, and then finally it'll get good, and then it gets good on all sides. And then you have to do that with every single layer. And not just that, but if you were to turn it like this, and then like this, now these are connected with different pieces, so you would have to do it again. And there's just a lot of breaking in. Then when it came to these layers here, these layers actually aren't too bad, and they weren't too bad at first either. The thing is that you have to tension it pretty loose, otherwise you won't be able to turn it. So you tension it loose, and then you break it into that, and then you tighten it up a bit, and you do it again. So literally there is a couple of hours of breaking this in, and I did that between my assembly and my stickering just to make sure that I wasn't going to wreck the stickers trying to break it in. The worst layers to try to break in were these top ones. As you can see, I can turn them now, but when I started, I literally for 20 minutes could barely get a turn. What would happen is these pieces would lift out sort of and dislodge from each other, just sort of like that. And then I couldn't get them back in right away, so I'd have to screw around with it a little bit. But I finally got it, and now these ones turn, both of them. And it's still a little bit loose. I think that this puzzle could be a little bit tighter yet, but it's not fully broken in. But I would like to tighten it up a little bit more just to make sure everything is snug and not catching. So let's go ahead and do a checker pattern now. And we can see that in action. All right, and now we do this. It's actually a very, very smooth turning puzzle, and I've only broken it in for a couple hours. I can't wait to see what it'll turn like after a few solves. Alright, so sometimes we gotta just pat it on the table and make sure that it's all square. Alright, so that is a checker pattern. It's got really, really nice colors. The contrasts are very, very nice. You've probably seen my sticker video, sorry for this, the unboxing or unbagging of it. So you've probably already seen that. So this thing can corner cut, but I don't really need to corner cut, but I'll just show you anyways that if you turn it like this, it can cut, but you have to, you really have to, force it over a bit. But I mean, we're not going to speed cube this anyways, so what does it really matter? This puzzle is considerably heavier than my other Shapeways puzzles, and I think it's just the size. I mean, this is really big. Take a look at it next to the Camcuber Zanchi. Like, it's big. It's a really big cuboid. I think it's the biggest shapeshifter out there, 5x5x9. I know that there's 6x8x8 by Tripoom. So I don't know if it's bigger than that. I haven't done the math yet, but if it's not, it's definitely way up there. It's number 2 then. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and scramble this up now for the very, very first time, and then I'm going to solve it because I've been waiting to solve this. Now we got to scramble it pretty good like this, and as we're scrambling it this way, we can see that all these colors on the side mix with each other, but on the top and the bottom only yellow and white do. So we'll just continue scrambling it until we've got a really good scramble. I first saw this on Klaus's page, I think that's how you pronounce your name, and I really wanted it, but I think he showed it right after assembly, and the turning is really stiff, but he says he's actually just made another one in black, and the turning is really, really good because he took, you know, a lot of time to break it in. So I was questioning getting this, but then when I saw Super Antonio Vivaldi's walkthrough of it, I couldn't help myself. I had to get it. It was his turn so well, and I sent him a message asking him if he had problems with the top layer because I couldn't turn mine at all, but it just turned out that I just needed to work at it for a while, and then it would work. So the layers that get bandaged are these three, so you got to make sure that you have a good scramble in here. You can always re-scramble these three middle layers while it's in the shape-shifted form. And yeah, if you didn't know, this is a shape-shifting puzzle because it's got odd-to-odd symmetry. I think that is a pretty good scramble. Even solving it like this would be a challenge, I think. Anyways, let's go into the shape-shifting. So now we can turn this like this. This is going to be crazy, guys. Oh, the cap fell off. There we go. Yeah, that's the first time the cap's fallen off. Hopefully that's not a problem, or I'll just have to glue it in once I get the perfect tensioning. So this is turning very, very nice. A little bit of a lock up here. Go the other way if it doesn't go that way. Simple. Look at the shape shifting. And if you've been following me for a while, you probably know that I am in total awesomeness right now. I'm just, I cannot wait to solve this thing. Shape-shifting cuboids. Probably one of my favorite puzzles, other than the Tripoom puzzles. Probably equal to the Tripoom puzzles, and Tom Z and all those people. Although, I have to admit, it doesn't beat the 3x3. Okay, so there we go. I'm calling that scramble. Maybe not. A little bit more here. Okay, scrambled. That's scrambled. All right, so now this is solved like a 5x5 because this whole layer here is all bandaged together. Right, I can't move these. And yeah, look at these corners. They're very, very flexible. It's only hanging on by barely anything in there. So I got to be really careful. I have to actually grip the first layer that's attached to the cube to turn. I never want to try to turn it by turning these because, as you can see, now don't get the wrong impression. This is very, very strong. I could probably pull on that, but I don't want to, just in case, because this puzzle is pretty expensive. When I come back after solving it to give you my final impressions, I will tell you where to get it, where to get the stickers, what the price is, and all that. All right, guys, I'll be back in a little bit after I solve it. Okay, I'm back. It's been about 45 minutes or so. It took me about 40 minutes to solve it. It's really, really nice. It's broken in even more now. The thing is, these top layers can catch, and I think I still need to tension it more and break it in more because from other videos I've seen, it's so flawless, the top layer, and as you can see, it's pretty flimsy, and I think I should just tighten it up a little bit more. I think maybe the top and the bottom screws. Anyways, the solving of this was really straightforward. It was basically an extended 5x5. That's all it is. You start with the centers. I started with the yellow and the white, and then you do the other ones, and then you start matching up edges, just like a regular 5x5, and then you put it back in a cuboid form, and then you're basically left with these two and these two, and you have to solve those. And that's exactly the same method as I do on my 4x4x6 tutorial as well. Like, it's pretty straightforward. It's just really big. It's just a bigger version of like a 4x4x6 or a 3x3x5 or, you know, a 5x5x7, which this is not. And I made that mistake by saying that, and a lot of people said that. But no, as you can see, it is a 5x5x9 You probably will be seeing a 5x5x7 coming out on my page relatively shortly, I think. Anyways, so yeah, I highly recommend getting this puzzle. If you are a puzzle collector, I know a lot of you guys out there, you know, you can't really afford a puzzle like this because it is quite expensive. I didn't look it up. Hold on, I'm just going to look up how much it is. So yeah, I just looked. It's $323.39 Canadian. Now the Canadian dollar right now is a little bit better than the American dollar, so it's probably a little bit more expensive for America. But I mean, I've got viewers from all over the world. I mean, if you are looking to get this, just go on the Shapeways site, links in the description, and you can probably just check your own, you know, you can just see how much it would be in whatever currency you're from. I also had to pay some duty on this as it came into Canada because this is printed in New York and it got UPS to me, and because it came over as brokerage charges and customs and then tax, it was actually another $50 just for me to receive this. So altogether with the stickers and the puzzle and the shipping, it cost me about $400. I know a lot of you guys right now are thinking, wow, like 400 bucks for a puzzle, that's really expensive. And it is really expensive, but if you've been following me for a while, like I'm a hardcore puzzle collector. Like I really like collecting these really rare puzzles, and this is definitely a rare one. I don't know how many there are on Earth. I've only seen two on the internet, and that's Klaus's, who's the I mean, Gregoire Fennig did this, but Klaus sells it on his Shapeways site. So there's Klaus, and then there's Super Antonio Vivaldi and me, and I know Klaus just did a second one, so that's 4 that I know of that exist, but there might be some more out there. Not everybody makes YouTube videos. Anyways, I love this puzzle. I'm gonna go and solve it again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.